Hello and good morning. I am here to tell you how to get started with Turtle.Audio. This awesome app that myself and my students have been playing around with quite a bit. So this is it right here. There's a big grid and you get a big T here in the middle. If I hit play, let me turn the volume down, make sure we're okay here. Okay, that's it. I find it a little intimidating when you see some of this code that you have to type. There are some helpful tutorials, but some people like to watch videos, so this is for you. If you would like to start on a new groove, line, loop, drum beat, whatever you want to call it, we need to clear this out. And the quickest way I have found is to look down here at these two tabs. So we're currently under the sound tab. And there's also a paint tab. We're going to look at that in a second. In the sound tab, though, I'm going to come over here to the right and choose this delete line. Okay. And then if I want to get rid of all these notes here, I would do that under the paint option. And there is this little X to clear all. And so that will give me a blank grid with which to compose some beats. And the first thing you need to do, the way that Turtle.Audio works, is that you have to create a line for the beat to play on. So there happens to be a new line tool. So I'm going to click on that. And then just click anywhere in this grid to start a new line. That opens up the sound panel. And there's all these different types of synth controls. If you're trying to make a synthesizer or drums, with some controls, but not as many. And I want to start with drums here, so we'll have this select drums. But really, like, there's nothing, if I try to lay down notes, nothing would happen because we have to create a line first. And to create a line, you cannot draw the line by clicking and dragging. You have to create a rule. And this, we're going to start coding some stuff here right now. And the first thing you should learn how to type is M. M as in Mary. And that will move my line one space up. If I hit M again, it is 2 spaces up, 3, 4, 5, right? So you can just see it like getting longer as I type in more M's. If I were to type in a R and then type in M, it would move that to the right. An L and then an M would move it to the left. So that is how the general gist of how you create a line. There's lots of different reasons to create different shaped lines, but for this tutorial I'm going to go ahead and clear this out. That deletes the line, so I could have just cleared the rule and typed something different. Now I need to come in here and make a new line. Be warned, there is no back button that I have found so far in this app, so that is something to think about. You got to be kind of careful here. I'm going to make a new line, and I'm going to type a rule, and this time I'm going to type M and then 15. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm going to type an R because I want to move this. I like to read from left to right, so I'm going to type an R and it begins moving our line to the right, and we'll type an M. And I think if we type in 15, yeah. That gives us a, let's see here. Oh, 16, good. That gives us a 16-step line. So I know it's kind of weird. There's a 15 here. If we were to count all these, though, it would be 16 grids or boxes. Okay, so that's one way to make a line. And now I'll hit play, and it's playing our loop right now, and you can see it loops over and over again. And the speed at which it's playing is 120 beats a minute, and that is down here, which we can change by clicking on the arrows or editing the text. Okay, but I actually want 120 for this. And now let's lay some sounds down. So I'm going to make a drum sound here. The first thing I need to click on is drums. And then I'll go under the paint tab to paint some notes down. So I'll click on paint. And this, believe it or not, is actually the similar, if not the same layout as a piano keyboard. Notice there's a pair of keys up top and then 3 keys, a set of 2, a set of 3. That's just like a piano, with the black keys up on top and the white keys in the bottom. But this piano doesn't play musical notes right now. It's playing drum beats, drum sounds, whatever you want to call them. We could actually preview the drum sounds by holding down the Shift key and clicking. I know my mouse click is a little bit louder. My microphone's in kind of a weird spot. There we go. Awesome. So yeah, here we go. Let's lay a kick down. So the kick is the big drum that's on the ground. That's a kick. So I'm going to put a kick on the first step and the 9th step. So that's a very steady beat. I can put, I can click in the middle of these, and you have a nice little dance beat here. Okay. Now, I can make another line by creating a new line, or I can add a different drum sound to this line. So here I'm going to do a snare. Okay, I tested that. Okay, awesome. So that is going to be my drum beat for now, for this little demo. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Next thing I'm going to do is make a second line, and we're going to put a bass down, a synth this time. So to make a new line, I'll just click anywhere in this grid, and this time I'm going to make a square. And to make a square, you're going to type in R to move to the right, and you move 4 times, and then you can just type that again, RM4, 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 and that actually makes a square of the same 16 steps, right? So these loop over and over again at the same time. Okay. This time I want to create a synth, and by default it makes a synth. So I'm going to go into Paint right now, and we'll paint in some notes here. So my first name is Chris. I'm going to put some C notes, maybe just the very beginning. Okay, awesome. Well, let's hear how we can change the sound of that. I'm going to go under Sound, and I can turn down the octave, or turn up the octave, or really high. Kind of cool. That kind of sounds like a piano key in itself. Okay. There's other controls, like the oscillator will give you different sounds. That's a square. These describe the shape of the sound waves that are made. Or the saw is kind of cool. For bass, I like to do sine and turn the octave down. Okay. And now let's play around with some more Paint here. So I'm going to go to Paint, and I will drop that same note on this corner. And then maybe a lower note, this F. The F doesn't sound right, so I'm going to try a G instead. That's better. Okay. Okay, cool. Let me stop that now. Next thing we're going to do is create one more line. So this is our drum beat. We have a little bass line here. Now I'm going to create a melody or some kind of hook or lead to this. And with that, I will make another square. But I want to show you how I'm going to type it out this time. So I'm going to click New Line. And this time in parentheses, I'm going to type RM4 to move to the right 4. Then my little helper here is telling me it's expecting a digit. I'm going to multiply this by 4. Oops, expect a digit. Let's type in the 4 here. And that makes a square. So you can see the difference between this code and this code. Results in the same square, but was easier to type. So I think you probably got that. Let me hit play. I want to do something like that. So I'm going to grab my Paint, and we have G. So I'm going to grab another G, G4, which is a little higher. Okay. Try a different sound. Ooh, C. And then, you know, just play around. There we go. Done. This is groovy. Yeah, and that's it. So that is my little beat I made. It's easy enough. Just know that you're looking at a keyboard down here. It also helps to kind of be sure you understand if you're in a synth or a drum, and that the synth will trigger notes, as you can see by the letter of the notes, or it can trigger drum sounds. There's a lot of other stuff you can do. I'm not even going to bother touching the sounds right now, but I would start by trying different oscillators. So that's a sine. We'll try square. That's a little more variety. Oh, that's cool. Always play with pan. It's very interesting. So, oh, there's my phone. So I'm actually going to call this a day. I hope you enjoyed. And we will see you later.